I'm a writer, and I mostly write factual entertainment or comedy. This is what comedy writing is really like. You'd think it might be a right laugh, but it's not. Endless feedback from producers makes you self-conscious, and the looming deadline doesn't help. Pressure makes the creative process happen, but it's not a happy process. This is me, happy, investigating the paranormal, obviously enjoying a lighter moment. No disrespect for those who have had their rectums plundered. But I've been investigating the paranormal for 13 years now. I take paranormal experiences seriously. Well, most of them. And I know a lot about the paranormal. Look at those bookshelves. About 80% of my bookshelves are books on the paranormal. I mean, look, who could resist a book entitled Who Built the Moon? I didn't. I've swatted up in spiritualism, magic, crop circles, UFOs, poltergeists, the lot. But I know what you're thinking. Does he really believe in any of this? If I'm honest, I don't really know what to think anymore. I think something's going on, but rare amongst believers acknowledge that there are huge problems with the paranormal. Investigating it, explaining it, it's very complicated. But to get you up to speed and make you know as much as anyone else, including the experts, here's my potted history of the paranormal. And shamanism is a good place to start. Contacting spirits and working wonders is nothing new. Any New Age moron will tell you that. What they miss is the fact that very few people were shamans. The paranormal has never been normal. It's always been a marginal, liminal thing. Sure, many cultures accept occasional ESP or telepathy as not hugely unusual, and here in Scotland we have the almost extinct tradition of the second sight. The Victorians saw Scottish ancestry as the hallmark of psychic authenticity. Why do you think the occultist Alexander Crowley changed his name to Alistair? It wasn't just magicians interested in mystic Scotland. The Society for Psychical Research, founded in London in 1882, was interested in Hebridean seers, but paid special attention to those ghost-bothering eccentrics who could come up with the goods, seemingly on demand, the spiritualist mediums. Modern spiritualism has been around since 1848, and to listen to them, they've been on the vanguard of providing solid evidence for over 160 years. However, on closer inspection, the history of spiritualism is like a stick of rock, shot through with the word fraud. I'm not saying they were all at it, but most of them were caught at it. Paranormal investigation needed to move into the lab and avoid these so-called psychic performers. So, in 1930, William McDougall, the professor of psychology at Duke University in Northern Carolina, invited a botanist, Joseph Banks Rhine, to found a parapsychology lab and study the average Joe for psi power. So, in 83 years, what evidence has parapsychology come up with? Well, this is where it gets confusing, because the believers are remarkably confident in their case for psi, and the skeptics remarkably confident that it's all balls. To illustrate this, let's look at two experiments. First of all, the Ganzfeld experiment. Here it is. One sender, one receiver. Can you guess 1 out of 4 images? Chance says 1 in 4. Thousands of trials since 1974 say 1 in 3. Jessica Utz, a professor of statistics, says, yes, psi is proved. Richard Wiseman, professor of psychology, says, extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence. The other main problem facing parapsychology is the experimenter effect. Double-blind experiments have shown that believers that run experiments get psi, and skeptics don't. Like Tinkerbell, the paranormal needs believers to exist, and thus the tautological firewall is maintained between believers and skeptics. That's you pretty much up to speed with the debate. It's about whether the experimenter effect is something more than just sloppiness or bias, and how much evidence counts. William James said, in order to disprove the assertion that all crows are black, 1 white crow is sufficient. But he was wrong. 1 crow is never enough. But that's parapsychology. That's not what I do. Although I have visited the Kessler Parapsychology Unit, a poltergeist stone throw away from here, I'm a paranormal investigator. I go out into the field. Is it dangerous? Scary? What disturbs me? Let me show you the greatest psychic peril I've ever encountered. Most haunted. I'm not kidding. Most haunted. This TV programme, though being very entertaining, gives an entirely misleading impression of what ethical, sensible investigation should be. It spawned a generation of paranormal thrill seekers who terrify the shit out of clients with their mad mediums and ghost goading. When I joined the Scottish Society for Psychical Research in 1998, there were 20 groups in the UK investigating the paranormal. After Most Haunted Air, there were 200. Or more, who knows. What I do is pretty much paranormal social work. Meet people, listen to them, talk to them, work out what to do. What to do is the hard bit. I've come to the conclusion that paranormal problems are just like any other problems. Different people cope in different ways. And some people won't like what you have to say or take any advice regardless. Everyone wants a magic wand to wave their problems away. For example, in one case, a man recently made redundant became an obsessive cyclist. He pushed himself to exhaustion. Added to that, he wouldn't eat for days, then he'd stay up late, and then he'd hear voices. A connection, perhaps? He didn't think so. It was ghosts. You'd think he'd know better. He was a pharmacologist. So how do comedy, writing and show business alter my perspective on paranormal investigating? Apart from finding trance mediums that put on funny voices suspect and amusing. Well, I think comedy serves as an instant trepanning, releasing pressure and providing us with a wider view. So does paranormal experience. So here I am, pondering our ambassador for the weird tonight, the alien, while the alien thinks about work. So what's it all about? How does showbiz influence my thinking on the paranormal? Is paranormal experience an opportunity to strengthen our narrative or change our narrative? Or is the paranormal just a big cosmic joke? I don't know, but it's fun finding out. Thanks for listening.